Hey everybody, it's KJ. Just bushwhacked it about 2 miles to one of these backcountry reservoirs in the Coconino National Forest. It's late November. There's a little bit of snow on the ground. Most of it's melted, but it's pretty warm. It's probably in the mid 50s or so. A little bit of wind. It's probably the only one out here. I don't really hear any hunters. I don't really see anybody, any signs of anybody. So one of the most striking things that hit me when I got here is the effect that the drought has had on us here in Arizona. We've been through a pretty severe drought for the past several years, and you can really see its toll up here in these reservoirs. I thought I would be coming to a nice full reservoir just based on some of the videos that I had been watching, but it's gone down significantly. A lot. I would say probably 10 to 15 feet in some places. So it just shows you how much water we're lacking. And so hopefully this will be a good snow year and we'll be able to fill up those reservoirs again. But check it out. Now normally you can kind of see where the reservoir would go up to. It's not a huge reservoir. It goes back further around this bend, probably for about another, I would say, half mile, 3/4 of a mile. But yeah, it's pretty low. That's okay. We're outside. We're gonna have fun. So I'm here just looking for a good place to camp, and I came across this little gem. And something tells me that some bushcrafters are here because of the setup. You guys take a look at it and let me know. How about the quality of that teepee structure? I'm just kidding. I love bushcrafters. I've probably learned, I don't know, 90% of my outdoor survival skills from them. So the ones that are doing it right, teaching, passing on that knowledge, keep it up. You're helping guys like me who know how to backpack, know how to get from A to B, but are wanting to step up my skills and not end up having to do something like this. All right. So finding a good campsite isn't always the most easiest thing to do. In a lot of places in the country, you can just find a spot, stake in, no problem. The earth's really soft. But here in Arizona, we have a lot of this, a lot of sandstone. So sometimes you have to keep searching and searching to where you can find soft ground, or you're going to find yourself having to anchor to either a tree or to some rocks or something of that sort. So just searching around a little bit, looking for a nice flat spot that's going to be dry, protected from the wind, a little bit further from the lake. So if any animals want to get a drink, I'm not going to bother them. Just trying to practice good leave no trace principles. I probably should be back a little bit further, but since I'm the only one here and there's plenty of lake access, I don't think I'm going to disturb any wildlife. Cool. Found it. I don't know. I think I should leave a waypoint or something so I don't lose my beer. What do you guys think? So I wonder if there's even like a beer icon for my waypoint. I got to check that out. So it's getting kind of dark. Just getting ready to build my fire. Everything would be wonderful if it weren't for this monstrosity right here. But, you know, this is such a good camp spot. I got such a great view of the lake. It's super quiet. All these trees block the wind to my back. There's no need for me to move. I'll just use as much firewood from here as I can and make do. Hey, how do you guys start your fire? Let me know. Do you use the spark? What do they call it? Fire steel? Do you just use a lighter? Do you put cotton balls in Vaseline? Do you use lint dryer? Like, how do you start your fires? I'm really curious. Let me know. Leave a comment below. Deal with this monstrosity any longer. I had to kind of just tear it apart. Leave no trace, people. You're making all the bushcrafters look bad. Just kidding. But no, seriously, this is just not cool. I packed this stuff out, but as you can see, there's like fence posts in here. I wouldn't be able to pack all that out. So I have no idea where these poles would have come from because there's no fences around here. All of this is wide open space. So let's see if I can do this without falling in. It's super muddy right here because the lake is so low. Oh! I know what I'll do. I'll put some rocks where I can step. Sketchy. Forgot my buff. Back there is a perfect example of where you can use a buff to kind of dry it off, so I have to use my jacket. Tripod's even sinking in the mud. has never happened to me before. Never. All right, double checked it. So the good news is the people that are about 200 yards away did not take my beer, which is super cool. I offered them, they politely declined, which is good for me. The bad news is something's wrong with my water filter. I don't know, when I cleaned it out last, I must have did something to screw it up, but it's just not working right. So I think I'm going to be done with the Sawyer squeeze, because if you haven't used them in a while, it's hard to get them going again. So I'm going to try the Be Free or something. I've heard a lot of good things about that. But the even better news is, this is better than anything, is I get to make a fire. 2020 has been the year of no fires in Arizona. None. I mean, it got so bad, it was so dry here that they would actually close the forest. They closed the forest. And because of that, it made it really, really difficult to have a fire unless you had a camping spot in a metal ring, and those were always jam-packed because everybody wanted to get out of the city and out of quarantine. So this is my first fire of 2020, and I can't be more excited to share it with you. Yay! Let's hope it don't go out. Wood's a little wet. You can hear it sizzling. Ooh, that wood is steamy. Not really going to build that big of a fire. Just enough to celebrate my first fire of the year. This wood is really wet. I might lose this fire. Why don't you guys comment on my fire making ability below? Be nice. I'm going to put the rest of this wood here to dry out. We have fire. spork. You gotta go with the spork. Don't waste your money on a spoon. You gotta go with the spork. A spork was like, next to the wheel, the best invention ever. Taco Bell perfected it. Sea to Summit capitalized on it. Tell me if you can get that with the spoon. My recommendation, spork. Greatest invention ever. That's hot. A little bit longer. So I got these for dessert. They are original brown rice, crunchy, something organic, sprouts, gluten-free, vegan, I don't know. My wife buys all this stuff. But the thing about these is they're super messy. And I don't want little mice running around my campsite. I'm about 20 feet from my campsite, but I don't want them running around anyway. So I'm going to eat these over the fire, just in case I drop some. It's a beautiful night. Okay, so just had dinner, a little bit of ramen. My dessert was those rice things. I don't even know what they're called, but what I'm really excited about is to get to lay out on my hammock and drink a couple beers as I look at the Milky Way. One of my criteria for bringing beer on a backpacking trip is it has to be from Arizona, because I'm in Arizona. And this particular one is Tio Oso's Mexican Lager, made by Uncle Bear's Brewery. Mexican style lager, and I'm not sure where they're out of. I can't see it too well. Okay. They are out of Gilbert, Arizona. I'm going to have to go pay them a visit. Tio Oso's Mexican Lager. So we'll see how that one is. This other interesting one, it's by the same brewery. This one is called Barclay's Peanut Butter Porter. I'm a big porter fan. I like 4-ingredient beer, but sometimes you can't find 4-ingredient porter. They put chocolate or peanut butter or something in it. So hopefully this will be pretty good. I look forward to enjoying them, and I will see you later, because right now I am going to drink a beer and look up at the Milky Way. Can you hear the coyotes? They're going bonkers. I don't know how many there are, but maybe you can't hear them very well. The funny thing is that the campers that decided to post up about 200 yards from me are in between me and the coyotes, so I'm not worried about that. I'm just kidding. They're pretty far. The coyotes are pretty far. They're pretty skittish. I had a fire going, so that'll keep them away, as well as any bears. There are a lot of bears in this part of Arizona. A lot. Morning. It was cold. It was cold last night. I used this Outdoor Vitals 20-degree bag with a liner in it. It's probably in the mid 30s, low 30s. I don't think it froze, but it got pretty close. I'll look at the water and see if it froze or not, but it was cold. I got some good base layers going on too, so I'm not sure why this setup got so cold. Maybe I'll figure out something a little bit different for tonight. I brought another quilt just in case, which I think I'll probably have to use, but
It was cold. My feet were nice. I used this little hack of putting my down jacket on my foot box, or I guess around my foot box. It didn't make it the whole night, but it kept my feet really warm. So my feet were good, but everything else was super cold. It's a beautiful day. The sun is rising, and I'm just glad to be here. I'm very thankful. Just very thankful. I'm very thankful to my wife. She lets me come out here and gives me this space and this time. And my daughters, I started bringing them backpacking when they were really young, taking them on hikes, going camping and all of that. And they've kind of grown into teenagers, and it's not really their thing anymore, which is okay. It's not a problem. I don't want to force it on them, but we still come out for day trips and little small hikes, and I really love that. I really love being able to spend time with them in the outdoors. I grew up in Colorado, and it was like a everyday thing for me just to be outside and to be in the mountains, or to go fishing, or to go hunting, or to go camping. It was just, that's what we did. That was our YouTube. That was our Netflix. But over time, you figure out that you're doing things, but you're maybe not doing them that efficiently. And so this whole backpacking experience for me has been about efficiency, affordability, and time, just making the most out of what I have, because I don't have a lot of any of those. I don't have a lot of time. I'm not super wealthy. I'm not selfish away from my family. So I don't want to just waste it. So hopefully along these trips, there's some efficiencies that are helping you. And I'd like to know what efficiencies help you as well. Not just what I know, but what do you know as well? I'd really like to hear from you. Last night I used the teepee tarp setup, and it worked pretty well for the most part. I'm about 5'10", and it's a 6x9 tarp, and it fits me just right. Any little bit higher, and I get kind of this condensation dripping on me, but it's probably just the right height for me. If you're backpacking and you want to use a tarp, anything bigger than a 6x9 gets kind of a little bit heavier, like a 9x9, which isn't bad, but that's a lot of tarp. And this is probably the most complex pitch that I would personally use. So it's just the right size for me in kind of colder weather. It just tends to trap in the heat a little bit more. And if I wanted to, I can shut those doors in that little vestibule area. I could just take a little stick or carabiner and close them up if I want to. I might do that tonight. The only problem is that the condensation does build up a lot, but pretty pleased on the shelter. It was a good pitch, and it's a really fun tarp. It's a really fun pitch. It allows me enough room to kind of set up fully if I need to, without hitting my head or without bumping into my trekking pole, which is the main pole that keeps up the tarp. And I have it guide out in the back to pull this up, or else this would be sagging really low to me. So it's pulled out here, pushed up here, and then spread out with stakes. I was gonna say poles, pegs. That's how many tarp videos I watch. I say pegs because that's what the UK bushcrafters say, pegs. But they're tent stakes here in the US. So you pull those out a little bit, make it really taut, and it's a good pitch.
So one way you can save a little fuel is by not allowing it to completely boil. Just get to that point where it's about to boil, where you start to see the little bubbles at the bottom. It's starting to steam pretty good. I can usually get about 12, maybe 13 good burns out of one canister. Or typically, if I let it boil, I may get 8. So just saves a little bit of time, a little bit of extra money. You know, I was giving bushcrafters a hard time earlier, but, you know, I really have learned a lot from them. And there's one guy, Joe Robinette, he's super incredible at what he does. He taught me this little trick about putting water directly in your oatmeal packet. So that's just one less thing you have to clean, and I don't like cleaning out pots. So, thanks, Joe. A little shake. Hold it up. Put it to the side. So the rest of my water, I can make hot tea. Some people, when they like to come backpacking, they like to bring eggs and bacon and fry it up, and I think that's totally cool. Hey, go for it. You want to pack in the weight, if you want to pack out the trash and you want to pack out all the pans, go for it. For me, I'm good with a little bit of oatmeal and some hot tea. Just do what works for you. So I saw another backpacker using this little tip. They're called hot lips, and I was burning my lips a lot on the pot, and I wanted to know if there was a better way to do it. And I saw this little thing from another backpacker video, and it's been a game changer for me. No more burnt lips. So I don't know if you can see it or not, but my neighbors here to the south decided to start a campfire, and it's already misty as it is. The hair's really thick with dew, and so now I get to eat my breakfast in a layer of smoke, but hey, it's all good. I'm here to enjoy myself. I don't know if you can see the smoke in the air or not, but it's pretty darn smoky now, and they're about 200 yards away, and the whole lake's open. So definitely had some visitors last night. Some raccoons, some elk track over here. Although I didn't hear any elk, they could probably be from the other night. Haven't seen any bear yet, so we'll see. So a couple of different things that I did this morning. The first thing is that I shored up my little ramp there so I didn't fall into the mud further. The mud was a lot softer this morning. The second thing is that I did bring my buff with me, which I forgot last time. And the third, since there's something wrong with my water filter, I just set up this little gravity system and I've got a slow drip. It'll probably take a couple hours to fill it, but I'll have clean water. And I brought 2 liters so I can drink a liter, fill up a liter, drink a liter, fill up a liter, whatever I need to do. I set it, don't have to worry about this, and I can carry on my day. Okay, I ate breakfast, got my water, got my camp cleaned up. Now it's time to go hike. This is where you cue the cool music. Fun fact, once you cross the lake, you go from Coconino Forest to Pacific Forest. So you can hit 2 national forests in one day. So there is the lake's namesake, Knoll Lake. It has a knoll sticking out in the middle of the lake. I don't know why they call it a lake. It's just a reservoir. There's the dam right there. Knoll Lake. So what's one really cool thing about this particular forest is that a lot of Arizona has been just decimated by what are called bark beetles and forest fires, and it doesn't look like this part of the Coconino National Forest has experienced either in recent years. So it's pretty cool to see. Did I mention we're at 7,300 feet? Man, I'm tired after that hike. I'm tired. I think I'm gonna go take a nap in my hammock. Got my fire going again. Second fire. 2020. So this is the progress that I've made on this monstrosity. I managed to get some of the debris cleared out, some of the trash picked up, not all of it. There's like styrofoam and glass and plastic in this fire pit. And then I kind of tore down that little teepee. So hopefully I can work on it a little bit more tomorrow morning. All that sandstone. Layers and layers of sandstone. Looking for bears. Looking for bears. Hey, bear. Where are you? Are you camera shy? Looking for bears. Looking for bears. You know, I've been doing this a long time, and I have never seen a bear. Not once. Bear scat, yeah. Bear tracks, yeah. Paws on the trees, yeah. But never a bear. But they're everywhere out here. So maybe if I left my food out, I'd attract some bears and I'd get some great content. Maybe I should do that. So that beer that I had last night, that Mexican lager, Tio Osos, wasn't really feeling it. Just tasted really sour. So sour, in fact, that I got another one. Couldn't wait till after dinner. Wanted to have a beer, sit down and drink it. It's not horrible, or I wouldn't drink it. But at the same time, it's not that great. So, Uncle Bear's Brewery in Gilbert, Arizona, your Tio Oso Mexican lager needs some work. That's just my opinion. But I bought it, and I'm drinking it, and I'm enjoying it. So that's what matters most. So it's about, 55 degrees or so. I'm just kind of guessing, just based on what I was looking at the weather report. For me, that's cold. I'm from Phoenix, and 100, 105, no problem. 110, can deal with it. 70, we break out the jackets. So 50, 55, that's like straight up winter weather for us. It's the end of November here in the Arizona high country. It's going to get cold tonight. According to the forecast, it's going to get below freezing. So I have my 15-degree Pariah outdoor quilt and my 20-degree outdoor vitals mummy bag. So I think I'll be all right. I'll let you know in the morning. So, there is just no dry firewood. Everything's wet. And in the summertime, this is a really highly used place. So, all the good firewood is, taken. So, I'm kind of trying to dry some stuff out. And this is all steamy. But about every 10 minutes, I gotta give it a good wave with my trusty sit pad. Keep this thing going and to continue to dry out the wood. So it's all right. I have a fire. I am thankful for that fire. This is the most thankful that I've been for fire in all of 2020. Thank you for that fire. That's how backpackers process firewood. No axe required. So I know what you're thinking. You're like, how can you eat ramen and cup of noodle soup or noodle instant soup? Well, for me, in the backcountry, food is really utilitarian. It's about calories. So I look for food that is light, number one. Number two, has a lot of calories. And number three, has some sodium to it. That way I can get replenished if I'm sweating a lot. So it's not that important to me that I have like, a steak or some of these other things that some of my friends bring out. They'll bring out vegetables, steaks, just kebabs, bratwurst, you name it. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, not at all. It's just that for me, I just tend not to eat that much when I'm out here. So I'd rather lower my weight and increase my calories and find that balance. But once in a while, I'll bring out something special. Once in a while. So I know what you're thinking. You're like, how does he cook a cup of soup out in the backwoods? Yeah, a lot of people ask me that actually. What I use is a Ziploc baggie. But I don't just use any Ziploc baggie. I use the freezer Ziploc baggie because it can take hot water without bursting. Not boiling water, but water that's really steaming really well. Just about right before it starts to boil, you can pour it in there and hydrate whatever you have in here. And then to keep it warm, while it's hydrating, I have this little cozy that somebody made for me. I'm not sure where I got it, but somebody made it for me. So that's how I do it. There's different ways to do it. Some people like the hydrated meals. Spend $8, $10, $12 on those. I spent, $3 on my dinner. Which is cool. Just allows me to save more money for more gear.
Morning. Stay toasty. Have my mummy bag and my quilt over me, so I didn't get cold last night. It's the way to go. It got down into the 30s, at least the low 30s. So, time to pack up, bushwhack it out of here.
Now the moment you all been waiting for, the teardown. Just saw a bald eagle catch a fish. Super cool. Couldn't get it on film, it was too far away, but just to see it swoop down, grab the fish, that's pretty cool. I'll dry everything when I get home. So I'm trying to get as close as I can to the bald eagle without spooking it. He's just hanging up there on the tree. It's gonna be really hard to see. Maybe I can get in there close enough. It's kind of right in the middle of your screen. I know it's super hard to see, but you'll see a tree and then you'll see what looks like a rock. But that's him just hanging out there. Or her. Could be a her. But pretty cool. So I cleaned up my fire spot best I could, but I didn't want to give bushcrafters a bad name, so I tried to clean up theirs as well to an extent. Just kidding. I love bushcrafters. I've learned a lot from you. Sending you some love, giving you a hard time. So I'm going to be hiking out on some pretty rough terrain. I have to cross a couple ravines. It's about I would say about a 2-mile bushwhack to where I'm parked, up and down. I'll try to film as much as I can. Maybe not me so much hiking, but more of the landscapes. I want to talk about the pluses and minuses of this trip. The pros and cons. All the pros. One, got out here, was totally alone at this lake. It was absolutely quiet, amazing, and beautiful. Two, got to see some interesting terrain and rocks that I haven't seen in a while, primarily because of the forest closures over the summer. Three, I would say just the wildlife, being able to see that and hear that. That's something that you haven't done in a while. Just go out there and be still and just listen. What noises do you hear? I mean, this morning there was something outside of my tent. I don't know what it was. It wasn't that big. There was something, and I just sat there and listened to it for about 10 minutes. Also got to see, sorry, I'm out of breath. I also got to see the eagle fly down, catch a fish. Amazing. Took a really beautiful, short little day hike. I wouldn't even call it a day hike. I would just say go explore, hike around the lake. Something else that was really great is my setup worked a second night. Learned some lessons from my first night, so I'll make sure to note those on my next cold weather trip. And I just get to experience, the beauty of creation. So I'm very thankful. I'm very blessed. Okay, so now the cons. Well, there weren't none. I can't complain. Yeah, I got cold. Yeah, there was some people showed up, but who cares? It's part of hiking. It's part of backpacking. It's part of getting outside. You just roll with it and embrace it. Make the most out of it. Don't have this idyllic notion of what your trip's going to be. Just know that it's going to be an amazing time. No matter what happens, you're going to make the most out of it, and you're going to learn, and you're going to grow. And you can jot down what things you need to learn, and you need to jot down some things that you need to grow in and work on those. So the next time you come out, hey man, you just get to enjoy it and you can have a great time. See what I mean? If you can't tell that I'm already breathing hard, this is the kind of stuff I need to hike up. Super steep. See the tree for reference all the way up there. But it's a beautiful day. Beautiful day for a hike. Almost to the top. One down and about 5 to go. Top's up there. Let's do this. We got this. All right, KJ, let's go. All right. Catch my breath first, and then we'll go. Sounds like a plan. Okay, I got a decision to make. Do I keep going this way, or do I have to go up that way? Because I had to do a lot of zigzagging to get through some brush and over a ravine. So what do? I check my trusty compass. And according to my compass, it is, yeah, that way. That way's a winner. Make sure you have a compass with you. So I'm literally in the middle of nowhere and hiking, off trail, navigating, bushwhacking, whatever you want to call it. Look what I come across. A Dr. Pepper can. It's been here for a while. I think I have room in my pack to take it out. There. One thing I try to do is always leave it be in the forest better than I found it. Okay, I'm getting ready to drop into this bad boy. It's super steep. It's steeper than 45 degrees, so maybe I'll try to find a different way. But one thing I want to do is check my compass and make sure I have my bearing correct. So I need to go south a little bit more, so I'll probably walk up this ridge to see if there's a less steep, less sketchy way down. But one thing about your compass that you always want to check is make sure you adjust it for the declination. It's one of those jargon terms that is really important to know when you're learning how to navigate. So here I go. Wish me luck. It's bottom. Now, just gotta go up. Still headed up. One thing I did is literally stumble upon a game trail to make it up. Animals sure do know how to get up ravines better than humans. I'll give them that. All right, a lot more to go. Let's do this. The deer and the elk and the bear that blazed a path for you. Thank you, animals. Bear poop. Thank you, bear, for making this trail for me. I don't care if you pooped on it. Thank you. So I made it up that ravine. It was a tough one. If it weren't for that game trail, I would literally still be trying to make my way up for it. It did some nice switchbacks, which was really pleasant. So again, thank you to the bears and the other animals that made that. So two things happened, and I should have known this. But again, this is all about learning, right? Learning and growing. Number one is I forgot to tighten my shoes before I left camp. Because I use shot cord shoelaces, I forgot to tighten them up. So coming down, it's like literally coming down, even steeper than that, but coming down, I took a tumble. The ground was super wet, and that's again something I should have known, just because how muddy it was. But took a tumble. You know what saved me? My trekking pole. As I was falling, I did ass beep. As I was falling, I did axe ice style and slammed it into the ground. And it kept me from going down. Literally saved me from tumbling down about a 50-degree bank. So, what do I learn from this? Number one, I will never buy carbon fiber trekking poles, because that thing would have went snap like that. Number two, I need to be a little bit more patient. Just be a little bit more patient, slow down a little bit, think it through, especially when I'm going through something a little bit that sketchy. I've done it hundreds of times, but today I was just in a little bit of a hurry. It's hunting season and I'm getting closer to the hunters. I can hear gunshots, so I was just kind of wanting to get out of here as quickly as I can. Not that they'd shoot me or anything, but you know, still, there are people shooting around me. So right now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna catch my breath. I'm going to get some water and I'm going to grab me my Snickers bar because it satisfies, according to them. All right, I'm gonna keep hiking on. Don't worry, I fixed my owie. I'm all good. And that Snickers, it did satisfy. Oh boy, another ravine. It's gonna be fun. This time I'm gonna take my time. I'm gonna take my time and I'm gonna look for a game trail and I'm gonna look for the easiest path down so I don't fall again. Gotta go down that. Another ravine, but I think if I trek it about, I don't know, maybe 100 yards that way, I can get around it without going too steep. Yeah, getting close to the forest road, I can hear the motorized vehicles going by, which is good, because I'm right up against my check-in time with my wife. Hopefully she'll be cool with me checking in a couple minutes late, but she's flexible, she's great. She allows me to come out here frequently, and I'm really super grateful for that. Thank you, Mrs. KJ. Thank you. There it is. Made it back to the car. Hey, everybody. Thank you. Thanks for coming along with this trip. Really appreciate it.